That is a good question. So in Mark 2:27, when Jesus said, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath," was he communicating that all of humanity was intended to keep the Sabbath? No. In this passage at the end of Mark 2, Jesus is clashing with the Pharisees because some of his disciples had picked grain on the Sabbath. And Jesus responds to them by saying something kind of weird. He answered, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar the high priest, he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat." That's a strange thing to say. I mean, the Pharisees bring up Sabbath observance, and Jesus responds by pointing them back to an Old Testament incident that didn't even occur on a Sabbath. He reminds them of 1 Samuel 21, where King David unlawfully ate bread from the temple because he was so hungry. So why did Jesus bring that up? Well, as he so often does, Jesus, in his response, expands the conversation to address principles that are far bigger than the specific issue that the Pharisees brought up. He uses this Old Testament example to highlight that human need takes precedent over ritual law. He's showing the Pharisees that their priorities are all wrong. So when he says the Sabbath was made for man, he's saying that the Sabbath is a ritual designed for human beings. But that doesn't mean that all human beings were commanded to observe it. It's sort of like saying shoes were made for people, not people for shoes. That doesn't mean every person must wear shoes. It's a statement of priority. He's telling the Pharisees that human beings don't exist to observe Sabbath, so the needs of human beings take priority over ritual law. It's the same thing he taught in Luke 13 when he healed the woman on a Sabbath, and in John 5 when he healed the man at the pool of Bethesda. He's teaching that ritual laws were never meant to override compassion and mercy and the basic needs of people.